What's up, Neon peeps? We're back with some news, some exclusive news about Bungie's marathon gameplay loop, features, progression, and more from Insider Gaming. We're getting news a lot sooner than I would have imagined, but this is great. This article is written by Tom Henderson. We're going to go ahead and read the article, and I'll give you my live, or I guess instant reaction to what they're saying. Yeah, let's dive into it. Late last year, Insider Gaming exclusively reported early details on Bungie's new marathon game, and now we've reapproached our sources to get more in-depth details. If you're unaware, Bungie's next shooter, dubbed Marathon, was officially revealed at this year's PlayStation Showcase with a short CGI trailer. Bungie's Brian Eckberg dived a little deeper into what Marathon entails, including confirming all of the details that we previously reported. So what exactly is Marathon? Marathon is a three-person extraction shooter with features that you might find familiar if you play games like Escape from Tarkov. However, if you're not a fan of playing as a team, it's understood that you can jump into a server or as a duo or solo if you wish, but you'll still face bigger teams. Extracting without your team is also seemingly a feature. One of the biggest and potentially controversial features within the game is an oxygen system. All players have a limited oxygen supply that essentially acts like the match countdown timer. Once the player loses oxygen, you begin to lose health. Extracting before you run out of oxygen and health is the goal, but players can also find O2 canisters in the match, or subsequently buy them at an expensive price on the market before heading into battle. So that kind of makes sense now, because that's like the countdown timer on the back of the runner is the oxygen tank. So that makes more sense with them running, it's counting down. I'm wondering if you're going to be able to actually see this on other players as well. Like you can actually tell, okay, they have 60 seconds left, they have 20 minutes left, I don't know. But that'd be a pretty interesting feature. The oxygen system also ties somewhat into the injury system of Marathon, with certain injuries causing the player to suffer different effects. For example, being shot in the waist area may cause damage to your oxygen supply, which will cause it to deplete more rapidly. Another example given was being concussed, which would cause the player's screen to blur periodically. Okay, so now we're seeing that Bungie's really going that kind of realism route as Escape from Tarkov has, where like you can break a finger and you'll feel it in your trigger finger or your leg and you'll feel yourself limping or just bleeding out. All these things that are very realistic in sense. And with this, it looks like if you're getting injured in your waist or concussed, you're going to have blurry screens or your oxygen will rapidly deplete. So that's pretty interesting to see that Bungie's actually going that route with the realism of the game. If your oxygen supply does become a huge hindrance though, Marathon's ability and perk system can solve that. We're all familiar with perks and abilities in shooter games now, so I won't bore you. But yes, perks include the likes of faster revives, less O2 usage, faster movement in the water, etc. Abilities are more game-changing and powerful, allowing the likes of night vision to spot enemy outlines. The more the player progresses, the more perks and abilities they unlock. So it looks like the perks that we have are, so far that we know, are faster revives, less O2 usage, faster movement in the water. And then there's abilities that are like night vision, able to spot enemy outlines. So at least there's one of the abilities we know now, so you can spot enemy outlines. I have some other theories on what other abilities could be, but I'll say that for another video because I'm still working on some of the other videos. But anyway, going back to the article, it says several more interesting details that were mentioned several times by sources were that Bungie was aiming for Marathon to be the ultimate live service. To achieve this, the team is aiming to have minimal load times, with one source saying that the team is aiming for single-digit load times from readying up to playing on the server. For replayability, it was said that Marathon's maps will have plenty of secrets for players to explore. Presumably new secrets will come to the maps throughout the game's seasons. Bungie is always really good with secrets, so I'm sure it's going to be some pretty fun stuff to explore in the maps that they have. But going down to this, we see the core gameplay loop of Marathon is as follows. Choose your missions to complete in the game. Choose your loadouts, perks, abilities, and gear. Drop into the server, hunt for loot, complete missions, explore and find secrets, extract, spend XP on updates, repeat. Yeah, that seems pretty similar to Tarkov, at least from my experience. If you guys know of other games, is this very similar to the other extraction games that you've played? I know other people have mentioned other extraction games in the comments, so if you have any idea, does this seem pretty similar, or is there anything new here that's different from those types of games? The game features 3 different types of items, loot, implants, and perks. In the current game, permadeath is a feature, but it's understood that players will only lose their loot, weapons, artifacts, currencies, etc., whereas implants are sometimes lost and perks are never lost. It's understood that Bungie is currently developing 3 different maps for Marathon, but if all 3 released on launch remains to be seen. Marathon currently has no set release date, but will launch on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. Okay, so Bungie says that or at least Insider Gaming says that Bungie has plans for 3 different maps, so I'm hoping that these maps are huge, because to start off with only 3 maps is a little underwhelming, I guess you could say, but I'm sure they're going to be pretty massive. I mean, at least from the trailer, they zoom out pretty far, giving hints to that it's going to be a massive map. And then also the fact that we don't lose our implants all the time and perks are never lost is also interesting. But we do lose our weapons, artifacts, currencies, so that makes sense because that's very typical of an extraction shooter. But yeah, what do you guys think about this article? What do you think about what's been revealed? I mean, it's not like mind-blowing information, I guess. It's kind of a lot of like assumed things, but now it's kind of being confirmed by some sources. But I mean, I'm excited. This seems pretty cool. I like the idea that there are abilities and there's perks. So it looks like they're 2 separate different things. And I'm curious to see what more of the abilities are. I think one of them, potentially based on some of the concept art, could be kind of like a teleportation or like, you know, invisible kind of sprint. But anyway, we'll dive into that a little bit later in some of the other videos. Yeah, if you like this content, I'm going to try to keep you guys up to date on the Marathon news. Feel free to like and subscribe. Yeah, peace.